Hi guys, hope everyone's really well. Back again with another one of my own boards. You know me, I'm a pretty straight shooter. This is more than mildly inspired by the one of the Channel Islands models called the High 5. I've always really liked the look of the High 5, and my friend's got one, so I sort of checked it out and I was like, oh, that's really nice. And it kind of sits in that middle ground where it is still quite fishy, but it's not like your traditional fish where it's really full up front and really big in the tail and really straight in parallel. So I've always looked at it and it's kind of like that nice middle ground where your fish is possibly a bit restricted on how you perform on your turns, but the waves are quite often not good enough here to ride like a slightly more performance orientated hybrid, or even like a Lost Rocket or something. You sort of need a decent wave to get those going here. So yeah, I grabbed all of them. My mate lent me his for an evening, and I just did a few measurements and had a look at it, and looked at the rocker and looked at the bottom concaves and basically made up my own version of it, made my own template. So yeah, so it's just, everyone's going to get inspiration from different boards. I mean, it's like you could say, oh, we copied this or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, how many fish are there out there? How many longboards are there out there? It's like even the winged diamond tail is one of the most original ones that I've did, and you go and look it on the internet, you're gonna find one. So it's hardly like it's really copying. So this is kind of like I like this as well because it's got that kind of drop swallow tail. JS did something similar as well, a board called Drop Swallow, where it literally looks like someone's dropped a swallowtail and busted the wings off and made it like that. So I really like the tail shape. I liked how much it pulled in, even down to the bottom contours. I was like, I really quite like a sort of deep V double, which the High 5 had as well, which was kind of surprised. So the single starts through there. I'll show you properly in a minute, but the single starts through here, and then from about here it starts fading into a double and quite a pronounced V. I like quite a lot of V and double because it gives you that I usually ride my boards quite high in volume, so it gives you a bit more rail to rail transition, a bit quicker, a bit smoother, and a bit more bite, and it just adds a tweak of performance to a board that's, I usually have my boards quite chunky, as you know. So yeah, I just went with the quad fins. I usually ride quads. The tail suits this, so I didn't even bother putting a thruster back box in. I was going to do, I was like, hey, worst case I could put one in later down the track, but yeah, I just like the idea of having a clean tail and no disturbance to the water flow. Say the rockers, I really like the rocker. Like the rockers I've got more tail rocker than the CI one had in it, but the nose rocker is a little bit less and the tail rocker is a bit more. The CI High 5 is like very, very flat in the tail rocker, and the nose rocker, it's got a little bit more flip and it's a lot thinner in the nose. I kept mine a little bit fuller and a little bit more beaky, and my whole board is quite full and a lot more chunky in the rails. So that's just me. That's just me and the waves, my ability and the waves we have here. So yeah, so nice rocker, and I've done I had another go at a different glass schedule. So this one's a 4 ounce on the bottom, and then a 6 ounce inset on the top, and then a 4 ounce wrap. So it's a slightly lighter glassing schedule than I usually do. I usually do 6 on the bottom, a 4 ounce inset, and then a 6 ounce wrap. So yeah, a little bit lighter schedule. I used this white tint again. I'm really liking this. This comes up like super good because you're not going to get a board that yellows. It's quite forgiving to work with, and I think it looks really good and it looks quite different. So I'm really pleased with this color in general. So it sort of covers in the fin boxes quite nicely too. I didn't have to. The pros would put the fin boxes in. On a colour job, they'd cut the fin boxes after they finished the glass job. Now, it's more work, and it's also going to probably take strength away because you've got to put more glass on again to. You got to glue the boxes in and then put some more glass on top to reinforce them. Whereas if you just leave them in as they are and glass them with the glass job, you've already got that reinforcing. So yeah, that's most of the board. I will come around and show you the concaves shortly. The rails, I thought I did a really nice job this time as well. I started putting a bit more tuck in on them. I noticed the CI as well was a very nicely rounded rail at the front, and then comes back to, I put a lot of work into getting this edge nice and hard off the back again. Obviously swallowtails can be a bit fiddly. This could probably do with little tickle up with some sandpaper again. Ideally, I've nearly finished, but it's just got a few shiny spots, so it could probably do with a bit of 320 or something just to take a few little shiny spots out. You probably see some of them in the tail there, as it's quite hard to get in to the tails, but yeah, nice sharp edge. You probably it's quite a lot in it. You can probably even see the single and the double and the V from there, but I'll come around and show you properly. Single up in the nose, up where it starts, up where the rocker breaks. Not very much. I didn't want to put too much single concave in it, so it's single through here, kind of getting deepest where your front foot's supposed to be, and then on transitioning now into a double. So you'll see the single start to get a double inside it, so you can just see the two panels there, and then this is quite a way in front of the fin still now, so this is one of the features I noticed on this board straight away when I put a straight edge on it. This is going to start turning into a V double very soon, so got some V going already, and I'm not even into the front fins, and this V and double is just going to get more and more aggressive as it goes through that's the front fins past, and then we're going into the back quads, so you can see how aggressive that V and double is, and I think that's a really cool feature on these kind of boards, because it's just gonna make them turn a lot better, and you can even see the acceleration that the V creates in the rocker as you go off the tail tips. You can see the extra rocker that's sat there, and that's what the V's creating basically. So I'll just come back through the other way. So yeah, as you can see, we've got a fair bit of V going on there, and you can see the double. You can see the concave inside the V on each side. I believe the Americans like to call that the spiral V. So yeah, you can see each panel with the concave under there and plenty of V. That's actually the front of the fin now, so it's quite a long V double by comparison to a lot of boards. And then we just got rid of the V's just finished there, but we've still got a double, and then we're just blending out into a single there. So it's quite an interesting, I actually like that. It adds a lot of speed and grip and hold and response to a board that's like, you can have a bit more of a chunky board and make up for it with that. That's why fishers use it, because they're wider and parallel and chunky, and then they use that V feature to keep the maneuverability. So yeah, hopefully you can see most of that. As I say, I kept mine fairly thick in the tail, a really hard edge here, like I've sanded that up to a nice point, and then it blends out through here. As I say, this board could probably do with just a little final finish sand, but it's pretty much done for all intents and purposes. Kept a little bit of meat and thickness here underneath the back foot, and you'll see this hard edge there transitioning through into some, starts to tuck and get softer there, and then down at the center line we're into a nice modern rail. And then as I get up towards the nose, I noticed this on the high five as well, it's like it starts to get very rounded up here and tucked in the nose, which is cool. And the big difference on mine is I've kept this, I was shaping it and I had this beak, and I was gonna scoop it all out, but I actually quite liked it, so I've stuck with it. Yeah, that's about it really. So clean and tidy, like this. Very pleased with this white on white resin tint. Again, this one's 6.0.5 and 20 7/8, 21 and 2 3/4. But as you can see, it's fairly full in the thickest part of the deck, and then coming down to still a reasonably, I wouldn't say boxy rail, but it's still a reasonably chunky rail. So yeah, should go in waves. I'm guessing this will be again 2 foot to overhead board without any difficulty, but it's probably going to be quite fast and still have some really good fishy elements to it. So looking forward to riding this one. Cheers for watching, guys. We'll catch you soon.